Hello and welcome to the second
Hello
stint of
and
the
welcome to the second
hello
stint of
and
the
welcome to the second
hello
stint of
and
the
welcome.
not good. Okay. Sorry. Hello and welcome to the second stint of the 24 Hours of Le Mans race. My name is Confuser3 and I have a co-commentator, SIL Eddie. Welcome.
Yes, hello everybody.
Yeah, the grid is already set. We will be seeing Lars from what is this? JCR in position 1. Then we have Urquattro from HPSR in position 2. Ento in position 3, driving for Halex. Then we have WSR in P4. Vulcan, FGR in P5 with Super GT, and Flive in P6 with from BNR. Okay, race is starting.
Oh. Let's hope everything will be good at the formation start.
Yeah, the formation start was a bit difficult last time. Let's hope that it works better this time. Lars will need to accelerate to about 100 kph and then he can start the stint in the designated area. And we go off. WSR with a very good start for some reason. Didn't overtake though, did a slow down, and that's why he gets overtaken by half the field. Now in P5. And Space Ace also started very early. He was able to catch Alexander. Then we have Knight Rider in P9, Xanai Golfo in P10, Milano in P11, Megael P12, Otaku P13, and Tinin Stelian P14. So how should we do this? Should we look through the field, or do you have a favorite team that you want
I
to
would
watch
say
for?
you can stay at the LMH car and I will look at GTE first. I think someone in front has Super GT. Oh, there's a collision! Super GT and I don't know.
Ento.
One car away spun. Oh, they hit each other.
Oh, and this is bad. This is bad. He was able to not get hit, so lucky for him, but that cost him a lot of time.
Super
No
GT at
damage
least
though.
has no damage, but also a time penalty, small one.
But to be honest, also Lars has a penalty. Then Super GT also has a half-second penalty. Vulcan has already climbed up to P3 again. Oh, I don't think that was necessary, this block.
Then at RTO Alexander is now in front in GTE. Spaces has to defend against Knight Rider. And then at the background you can see the LMH car who has to overtake, not to lap, to overtake them.
Yeah, after an early mistake, of course, then it's a bit difficult, but luckily everyone is in formation, so he should get past most of them, if not all of them, at the end of the straight. But yeah, for Halex that was a harsh blow. They were in P3 at the start and lost lots of time now.
Yeah,
Space Ace did a little mistake.
there was a contract between him and we have Gertra Super GT. I think Super GT was behind, he was with his front, he was a bit next to him, next to his rear, then there was contact, and then yeah. Helix driver spun, Super GT.
Lars has
Didn't
gone
lose
very
anything.
wide. Half second penalty. Yeah, sorry. I disrupted you.
Yeah, no problem. So we had extra sponge, but she didn't lose anything, only half a second penalty. Yeah, I think stewards could look at that. I don't know. Now let's go forward.
Could you also look a bit in the chat if you have a free minute? Oh, Lars with another mistake and got hit by Super GT because he was in the way. Unsafe return on the track, you could say. Now he's found back to P5. Then Ento also quite lonely at the moment. Needs to catch up with the field again. When we look behind, we have Alexander, who has made up a bit of a gap of 1.5 seconds to Space Ace, with Knight Rider just behind, and literally the whole field chasing Space Ace. Now out of us three in this team, I think Knight Rider should be the fastest, but I think this is now a penalty. He has gone too wide at Tertre Rouge. Yes, penalty. And with this he will fall back probably at the end of the field.
Flipsy in the chat, Confi and Eddie, let's freaking go. So there's someone very exciting about it. About us two streaming and commentating.
Milano is looking for an overtake at Golfo, but couldn't make it stick yet. Golfo is lagging. It was also interesting to see about the fuel usage. If you look at Alexander, he has already used about, 7 liters. Then we look at Space Ace, the same. And Knight Rider is saving fuel. He's not using that much.
And behind him we have two drivers going side by side through a chicane. Alex, now we MLR driver could do a switch back. We are still side by side.
Yeah, and we have Mega L and also Otaku following. They could also interfere in the battle. But I guess they are happy with the slipstream for now. And Megael showing himself on the right side, but not trying an overtake. The whole field lags quite a bit here.
We have at the back with Porsches trying to overtake VSR. Let's see if he tries to attack Mega L, but I think it's better to stay behind.
Now let's look also at Milano, because Knight Rider will sit out this penalty now and will probably be catched by some of the drivers. Or maybe not, maybe his gap was too big that he could be
Only
catched.
MRL at least, but it's close. But I think he should rather stay behind, or he's going side by side through Porsche corners.
Yeah, Knight has to let him go. That was brave, but it worked out. Good for him.
Yeah, and as we're in front of GTE, we have two cars still close together.
Yeah, Alexander and Space Ace still close together.
We're about 2.5 seconds now in front of the rest of the GTE cars. All other GTE cars are, yeah, one line, following each other.
While you look at the GTs, I will look at the LMH cars again. Urquattro is leading. He has got a half-second penalty though. Then we have Vulcan following. Super
That I wanted to
GT
say now.
against Flive. Can make the overtake stick. Yeah. They were side by side when they were shown. And Super GT got past, but he has half-second penalty, so it could be possible that he has to give back the position again later in the on the track. The Nars has fallen back to P5. Quite a gap though to Flive. It's 3.5 seconds, and Ento is catching up. It's 13.5 seconds for him at the moment, behind Lars.
Now we have Charles in the chat who's greeting us both.
Congrats for a great stint. Hey, thank you. Could have been maybe 10 to 15 seconds faster, but it was more or less trouble-free for me. Happy with that. Vulcan has taken the lead of the LMH class now, and Super GT can defend against Flive, even though he had a penalty. But at the moment, the best pace has Ento. Only 19 seconds behind Vulcan now. With the GT field, we have Alexander still in first.
Now Spaces, he has a time penalty and he's a bit behind, so I think he will lose slipstream for sure.
I think he already lost slipstream because slipstream is effective.
Over 1 second.
With the GT cars, it's about 7/10 or so, where the slipstream is effective. Behind we can see Milano, who is driving against Knight Rider. Knight was a bit faster on the straight, but I think he didn't want to overtake. He's quite happy with the slipstream.
With Spanish driver, he's overtaken Mega L, but now a Spanish driver has to serve a half-second penalty.
Oh, that was a mistake, and he has to serve a penalty now. So he's falling back even more.
In my view, perhaps it was a bit lagging instead of a mistake, but I don't know.
Yeah, could also be. The camera position was very weird. And Tinin against Otaku. Golfo also in the Porsche curves. Many overtakes here. Little mistake by Tinin. And Golfo is back in P13. Quite a close battle here.
Now MRL driver is in slipstream range of Spaces on 9/10 of a second gap. That could be very important when he comes to a long straight.
Eiffel Blitz Road, let's go. Vias Racing Esports and Plexus with Tin almost double overtake. Yeah, we have seen this.
Yes, Visa Vulcanos leading, we LMH group, with nearly 3 seconds up to HPSR Urquattro. Super GT is now on 4th. I think he had a mistake. Yes, he's over 5 seconds behind his best lap so far. Because he was in front of Flavi, now Flavi is in 3rd position.
Yeah, that's true. And if you look at the front, we have Vulcan leading with 3 seconds gap to Urquattro. And Flive goes a bit wide. and touches the wall in the Porsche curves and gets a half-second penalty. Not for the
Yes.
collision with the wall, but for going wide at the first corner.
Super GT also has half a second penalty.
True, yeah.
That could be good for Lars, who could catching up to him. And interesting to see, the fastest LMH car is the last one actually, so I think all could come closer together now.
Yeah, but I think Vulcan can drive the same pace as Ento, or at least wasn't that much slower.
Yeah, Vulcan won his fastest lap. He did now a 3-minute 21.8, and Ento was faster but only 2/10.
Yeah, okay, it's more or less the same pace.
We Uquato, he did a 3:25, so he's losing time.
May I interrupt you? We have from P8 to P10, we have a battle here. Milano tries to overtake Space Ace. Now side by side through the corner before Indianapolis. And Milano gets the overtake done. But Space Ace can counterattack. Gets the position back. Blocks. And yeah, is back in P8 now.
Nice racing going on here. And I think Knight Rider will stay behind and watch.
Yeah, and save a bit of fuel because he's on fuel wise he's much better at the moment. Whereas Space Ace and Milano won't get 9 laps out of the car. They will probably pit after 8 laps. And yeah, for the GT cars it's very difficult to be on a two-stop strategy because the best strategy, more or less the only strategy that works with the GT cars to do a two-stopper would be to pit in lap 9 and then go for another 18 laps. If you can stretch that stint, even better, but yeah, it will be very difficult to reach so many laps unless you are really good at fuel saving or you have a good gearbox.
Lavis is right at the back of Uquato, now has to serve penalty like Super GT, so I think we could have a close battle for P2 to 4 here in LMDH. Flips in the chat, man, this event is fire.
And DLL watching from the sideline. For reference, fastest lap in stint 1 was on mid 3:19 after the fuel was low before the first pit stop. So we are still about 2 seconds away from the best lap.
Lavish has served his penalty, but he's already in slipstream range of Uquato. But now he lost a bit time in the chicanes, and Super GT is right behind him.
Oh, Super GT is making up some ground, nice. Yeah, and then on the Hinodier straights, it could be possible to overtake.
In GTE, Space Ace is still P2, but he has a half a second time penalty to serve. And Milano is trying to overtake side by side. SpaceX is braking late, he's braking too late.
Oh no. And now he's right in front of a Knight Rider, who also had the better exit. Maybe he can attack right now. He's still in fuel saving mode though.
So slowly GTs is splitting up in smaller groups, and now Flavis is attacking Quattro and Super GT also. Super GT's bump drafting Flavis a bit. But now he hits Flavis.
Flav goes wide.
Please stay calm, guys. Long race.
And they are already 10 seconds behind Vulcan. Super GT with another overtake attempt. And yeah, gets squeezed here a bit. Gets squeezed into the pollards and jumped up a bit.
I think it's also a bit unnecessary to try there. Now on that straight, I think it's easier to overtake. And what is Super GT doing? Quattro's driving right line. He even tries to overtake right there.
Yeah, it's still close here. But let's look back at the GT class. Milan is now in P8 behind Alexander. And Knight Rider has overtaken Space Ace.
We Porsche driver P14, he has right front suspension damage. Only right front, nothing more.
How could this happen? But yeah, this damage isn't really a hindrance. He can drive normally. If he has a wheel, then he won't even notice it. Maybe the car is just a bit veering on the right now. But again, if you have a wheel, you can easily correct that, and you won't lose any pace at all.
He did personal best time in Sector 1, and now Flavi and Super GT tries to fight. Well, Quattro behind has half a second penalty, so he could lose time later on.
Go HPSR, says DexBack777. And Ento has finally catched up to Lars. Still doing more or less still driving the best pace here out of the field. And also consistently the best pace. But I think it will take him a few more corners to get near to Lars. Then the
Last
GT.
lap of Vulcan was a 3:23, so he think he had at least a little small mistake, but nothing to worry about.
Space Ace has overtaken back Knight Rider. Maybe Knight Rider was saving fuel again. Yeah, look at Knight's fuel. It's still more or less 25 liters, so he could go 11 laps if he continues like that.
Oh, Super GT has a bad exit. I think you can't attack Flavi. No.
Oh, yeah, right. We come to the first lapping processes. For the first time, blue flags will be shown.
Oh, and that near Porsche corners.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. This will be difficult for WSR because the whole field is more or less still in one formation. So if he comes at the very wrong time, and it looks like that it's the very wrong time here, he will lose a lot of ground. Luckily he can overtake Tinin on the outside, then Golfo. Bit of confusion because Golfo went on the outside. Normally you would do that on the inside. Otaku is overtaken, Mega is overtaken. Didn't even lose that much time, it seems.
Flavi went wide. I think he could get a penalty. Yes, 1 second.
Wow.
Not half a second. A complete second. Oh,
Now
Super
Vulcan
GT.
to the first chicane with Knight Rider and Space Ace in the battle. And there's a touch with Space Ace. That was not necessary.
I think he should stay behind for the corner.
Yeah, but now he has gone past. And Super GT and Fly fighting together. Very close.
I think Super G now he has only to wait. He has to wait until Flavi has to serve his penalty now, and then he's in front of him.
Now luckily for both of them, they can overtake on the straights the GT cars, or at least a lot of them.
We gained nearly 2 seconds to Vulcan. But it's a long race, perhaps next time we have to lap the GT cars in the middle of the corners. Oh, Flavi is braking late.
Oh, and he gets touched by Super GT. That's damage, and even worse, that's engine damage. And he returns on the track in a very unsafe manner. Aye, not good.
Yes. Flavi has lost a little control when we hybrid power kicks in, and then Super GT has.
Yeah, I think Super GT has touched him a little, but I don't think that was on purpose. It was more or less just.
I only think perhaps he could think this was coming to happen, but yeah, I think there was nothing what he can really do.
Milano gets lapped by Urquattro.
Last has a time penalty, 3.5 seconds. How he's getting 3.5 seconds time penalty?
I don't know, maybe it's a collision. Maybe it was through a collision. I don't know. Knight Rider also has a half-second time penalty.
I think due to Slavic, perhaps there was a yellow flag, and then we have problems with overtaking or.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, true. Maybe it's because of the yellow flag. Because he hasn't slowed down or he has overtaken during the yellow flag. This could be possible.
Ento slides a bit behind Alexandra while lapping. Now he gets half a second time penalty. At least nothing bad to happen.
Okay, let's look through the GT field now. Alexander needs to pit in this lap. He has already more or less used the whole tank. Then Milano also has to pit. Space Ace probably also has to pit. They are only coming 7 laps. And then Knight Rider, he still has fuel for 4 more laps to go.
Otaku is already now also more fuel. Ah, look, Space Ace is trying to go for another lap.
Okay, yeah, this is possible because the others also had 5 or 7 liters of fuel left. But Pure Fly now also needs to pit, needs to repair engine damage.
Mega is going forward, he has a half a second penalty. Our Spanish guy is trying to make 1 or even 2 laps.
Yeah, I think he goes for a 2-stop as well. And I can already say for RC, we are all going for the 2-stop strategy because we think it's the fastest, or at least for our driving style and for our skill, it's the fastest. because we can by no chance drive as fast as a RTO with the Aston, or as fast as JCR, or as fast as half of the Halex guys. We need to do the two-stopper. We have no choice. That's the only way how we can gain time.
Yeah, with Ferrari he is very... He doesn't need a lot of fuel compared to other cars. Same for the Lexus. Lexus does also need less fuel, so we can drive longer, especially. I
Yeah,
think Mercedes does need a bit more fuel, so I think
that's
we have to save more.
yeah, that's the matter how you push it. That's the matter how you push the car. So yeah, if you're pushing a lot with the Mercedes, you can obviously only do 7 laps. And if you are pushing a bit less like we do, or if you are just a bit slower or have a smarter gearbox,
So MLR has fully up car completely, full tank now. And he's getting blue flag.
RTO hasn't
Ah,
refueled completely. They are only refueling to about 90 liters. Interesting. What's the strategy here? Maybe just go for 12 or 13 laps? Because last time they made 46 laps. So yeah, it's possible that they tried the 3-stopper. And do not refuel completely. And Milano, yeah, he has refueled completely, as you said, and it seems like he will be pushing to go as long as possible, maybe 14 laps, maybe 15 laps, and then go to the pits again, do the same, and then have a short last stint.
Super GT is on the way to a fastest lap of the race and it's looking good. And he has done it. 3 minute 21.1.
Wow, that's nice. Anto has gone into the pits as well. That's interesting. He still has about 12 liters of fuel left, or 13 liters. That's quite an early pit stop. I think it must be strategic.
I think he could go up to two laps more.
2 or
Up to
even
10.
3 laps, yeah.
Up to lap 10, I think. Or even more. And if he gets unlucky, all the GTE cars will get in front of him, then he has to lap them again. Which could cost him more time.
Yeah.
And surely it will happen. Because most of them are now on start-finish straight.
Mm. Well, let's also look at the battery a bit. If you look at Vulcan, okay, he needs to pit in this lap. He has used a lot of fuel here and needs to refuel again now. Then we have Super GT. He has less tire wear and he has less fuel usage, and also his hybrid is still at a higher stage, so he's able to drive faster for longer. Because once the hybrid is empty, it will be difficult to get good laps anymore, because the acceleration out of corners isn't that good anymore. Then Urquattro, same fuel usage, bit more hybrid usage, but better tire wear. Lars, even better tire wear, but more hybrid usage. And Ento has strategically pitted with Flive, who needed to pit because of damage. Now, when we're looking at the GT class, we have Knight Rider in front, who has driven a personal best lap of 3:55.972. That's more or less the same pace that I can drive. But in theory, he should be about 1 second faster than me.
And I think it's nearly the same pace than I can do with a BMW.
Oh, Ento with a misunderstanding. Knight Rider said that he will stay on the right, but Ento misinterpreted this and said and thought that he must overtake on the right. So yeah, little misunderstanding. Nothing happened, so all
Last
good
sector,
here.
Knight Rider was 4 times faster than his personal best, and now it's half a second, so Knight Rider still can go faster.
Yeah, I think also he pushes a bit more out of this car. Yeah, of course, still shifting up earlier than he should, but obviously his gearbox is meant to go faster, so he's driving a very good lap here.
We have pit stops in the front of LMDH, Vulcan and Super GT.
Yeah.
Super GT has damage. He has front damage and he also had front right suspension damage.
Okay.
It has shown me, but now we can't see it because I think it's a small bug here in GT.
I don't see any damage on. I
He
don't
had-
see any
he had-
damage on the
he had-
car.
I see damage front and front right suspension was at least. Now
Yeah,
at
I
least,
know. I know
can't
it. I know it is blinking, but I don't see any damage on the car itself visually. That's what I mean. Nice analysis. We were sweating in the PlayStation party after seeing that one guy had hybrid power till the end. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to maintain a bit more hybrid power, but basically you need to do lift and coast, but not the way. Nah, let's explain it differently. These cars are not made for lift and coast, not at all. They are made to be long on the brakes as long as possible. So instead of lift and coasting, what you need to do is be on the brakes while accelerating, and do this maybe 50 meters or 100 meters before you want to brake, and then you have a nice extra amount of energy that you have saved.
There has something happened in the GTE class. Space S has front damage and Alexander has front damage and
Oh,
Milano also has front damage. 3 cars in GTE with front damage.
yeah, what happened here?
Space has front left damage and Alexander and Milano front right damage. I don't know if there was a collision or anything else or a fight. And that's unfortunate because all 3 have pitted some laps ago.
Yeah,
Or even last lap.
at least on Space Ace I can see visual damage, and on Alexander, yeah, I don't really know. He continues on though.
Space Ace is pitting to repair damage.
And Milano is continuing as well. Maybe they think, yeah, costs too much time to pit again.
Otaku has pit and he has jumped some cars.
No, I think Tinin has jumped some cars. Because
He also, yes. He has only about 70% fuel. Otaku has a complete full tank, so I think Otaku has jumped many cars and he has now a full tank. So he gained a lot of position. So I think something had to happen behind. Last lap of Alexander, 4 minutes 4. That's about 9 seconds slower than his last lap.
yeah, and he has damage, so his lap times won't get any better. Because with the damage he might lose 2 to 3 seconds a lap.
I think we saw Devil. He had damage in the last laps. I think he nearly lost about 10 seconds per lap with the LMDH car with damage.
I don't know, I have driven the first stint, so can't really say.
Yeah, I thought he instead of 3-minute 20 times, he did 3-minute 30s.
Ouch.
Perhaps afterwards, I think it would be better if he repaired damage instead of driving 5 or 6 leg versus damage. I don't know if it's the same with GTE cars, if we lose more or less time with damage. But with LMDH, Devil, he nearly lost about 10 seconds per lap, only with front and front right damage.
Okay, Alexander's personal best is 1.5 seconds faster than his current lap. So he's en route for 357 or 358. And Golfo really isn't looking strong at the moment.
Now Knight Rider and Mega L comes to pit. I think we're the last one to pit in GT for first pit.
Yeah. Lap times of Mega Isle were pretty good. 356.8, 357, 357. I think he has understood the car now, because when he practiced last time he was kinda slow, but I think he also had a flu or something. He was sick, so yeah. Now I'm interested in the strategy of Knight Rider. He has changed tires. That's what I didn't do for last time. Question for you two both. Oh, come on, Flipsy. Is Formula 1 driving too complicated with 20 and more buttons on the wheel? Are you too much under effort, under pressure? What are your wishes for the future concerning technical program during the race? Less buttons, more, or less and more communication with your engineers? I answered that with yes. And if you want to get more details, yes.
So
Anyway, Knight Rider.
he
Knight
comes
Rider is
out full tank and he is leading with GTE class for now with a full tank.
Megal is coming out behind Tinin and gets attacked by Golfo, who overtakes him in the chicane. Alexander is still there with a 358.7. That was to be expected with damage. Then Milano has pitted. Maybe the time loss is too big
Did anything
and he
happen
falls back to last place.
Did anything happen to Vulcan? Because now he's in 5th place. Yeah, he has stopped, but he's, for example, 10 seconds now behind Urquatro. So I'm wondering if there was any
Must have
because
been an incident.
both have nearly same fuel, same tires. But I don't know. So Super GT is now leading the LMDH class. And normally Vulcan, I think he should be about 8 seconds in front.
Yeah, his outlap was very very slow, because Urquatro has a 410 as an outlap and Vulcan is a 434. So yeah, there must have been something. Okay.
Look at Ento. He lost a lot of time at the beginning because of spin, and now he's back at P2.
With the 1 second penalty though. But yeah, I think it was the strategic call. My God, I can't speak.
Our American driver GT has half a second time penalty. Otaku's right behind him. Is he trying to attack? Yes, it looks like that.
Luckily, in the WEC class, the BOP should be made like this, that all cars are equally fast over a lap and also pretty similar on the straights.
Yes, Otaku has overtaken Teeny Steen round the outside.
And Tinin won't attack because he has a penalty, so it makes no sense to attack. He would only lose time. Behind we have Xanai Golfo, Mega L and RTO Alexander. All within about 2 seconds. Also closing in on these two in front, Tinin Steely and Otaku. So we could see another battle again. And yeah, Golfo might not be the fastest, but he's at the moment pretty consistent.
Ento has 1 second penalty to serve now. Super GT has to lap someone. Will it be in front of Porsche corners or in the middle? It looks like not in front. Only if he dives, and what happened?
Oh, Super GT went wide. Yeah.
He completely misjudged. He tries to lap in the inside, but I don't know what he has done, so he should stay behind him instead. But now Ento is right at his back. Now we could have a fight for the lead in the LMDH class.
Yeah, but Super GT has about the same pace as Ento, if not even the better pace, if he doesn't make mistakes, so let's see. Space Ace now in P13. And for Ento it wasn't that great because he had to overtake him in the corner, but it worked out well. Strategic wise, Super GT has a bit more fuel than Ento, and also has a bit fresher tires. Also has a bit more hybrid power. Then Urquattro 12 seconds behind Super GT, then Vulcan got a half second penalty, but there's a 22 second gap to Lars.
And Flavi already has no battery left. It's completely empty in lap 14.
Yeah, that will not help him.
And in front of him, Lars, he also has more or less no battery left.
Yeah, but you know why the battery is left? Probably because of the damage. Not because it would drain because it's broken, but because the car is so much slower that it uses much more hybrid energy to get up to 250 kph.
The
And
energy goes out at 250 kilometers per hour, and I think with engine damage you can't even reach that speed. You always
yeah,
stay under 250 kilometers, and then it will use battery all the time up
yeah,
to the pits.
that's true. Okay, we have a Knight Rider in the lead of the GT class with 7.5 seconds to Otaku. He needs to drive 1-2 laps first to get the temperature in the tires. Then Otaku, 2 seconds in front of Tinin. Then we have Golfo, Megael, and Alexander, who can still keep up quite nicely even though he has damage.
Now, I think Super GT now has to lap again in the corners, Porsche corners.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Let's see if he does it better than last lap.
The Super GT has gone past Alexander. Then with Megal he can go on the outside. Megal does it smart, he allows him to go through. Half and second penalty for Super GT.
Because he was a little bit too wide that we exit off the last Porsche corner.
Yeah. Now in the 4 chicanes he can't overtake, shouldn't try. Oh, a little contact now with Golfo, no with Tinin, but that's probably due to lag.
I think small misunderstanding,
Yeah, could also be.
but nothing to worry about. Nothing happened. Ento even lost more time than Super GT while lapping.
Yeah, at least it looks so visually.
And Vulcan at P4, he's catching up U4, less than 3 seconds gap. Ento again has a time penalty, half a second.
And Super GT has now Knight in front of him. That's the last GT car to lap. And then he has done it.
Now he has clean air for about 6-7 laps.
Then Tinin, Golfo, who is about half, who is in the slipstream range of Tinin. And then we have Megael, who is on a bit different strategy. RRC has done 10 laps with one fuel tank, or with half a fuel tank. And now they are more flexible from the strategy. And it seems to be a bit cloudy at the moment. Could there be a weather change?
I also think perhaps a bit of fog, but only a bit. But yeah, I don't know.
What's Mega's pace like? Yeah, it's difficult to say because he has just left the pits, but in the first stint he has done 56.9, 56.8, 57.6, 57.3, 59.2, then 57.7. Now he's doing 58.9 and will probably get faster over the stint.
Vulcan has nearly catched up U4. I hope he can lap Knight Rider before Porsche corners. Yes, he can.
Yeah, Vulcan as well. The field is still very close together. 14 seconds between Super GT, Ento, Ur4 and Vulcan. Then Lars and Flive are a bit more behind, but that's understandable because they had... Lars doesn't really have the pace and Flive has had engine damage. Oh, Ur4 has gone very wrong through the chicane and Vulcan can overtake and is now in P3. Now as you are sitting with me in the commentary booth, you will drive next week, right?
That's right.
Are you looking forward to it? What are your expectations for the general result of your team?
Yes, it was a bit unfortunately we missed lobby 1 after pre-quali by 1.6 seconds. And my teammate, he was pushed out by some driver, so there was potential that we get lobby 1, now we get lobby 2. I think we will be very strong in lobby 2.
Yeah, of course, that was a bit unfortunate. We had to look at it with to the steward, and they decided that nothing further should be done. So yeah, of course, a bit unlucky.
Yeah, we will see. I will drive 2 stints, and I think I'm one of the fastest, perhaps the fastest driver in GT lobby next week. But yeah, we have to see what my teammates are doing. But I think it's looking good when we will start first in GTE class. So when you start first, then you always will finish first.
Yeah, let's
But
see about that, but it's nice to have positive thinking.
yeah, we will see. Last races we also had some disconnects or some problems like that. So at least I hope we have a race with no big problems.
Hmm. Let's look at the GT class again. We have a Knight Rider still in front, 7.5 minutes behind Super GT, and about 9.5 seconds in front of Otaku.
Nushel in the chat, Eddie way too washed for lobby 2.
Way too washed.
Washed.
Yeah. Then Tinin still only 3 seconds behind Otaku. Then Golf also following. Then Megael. Then Alexander is peu à peu losing time. Last lap was a 3:59.8. The lap before was a 4:01.7. So yeah, it's about 3 to 4 seconds per lap where he is losing time because of damage. And I guess he needs to stay out for another, don't know, 7 laps or 6 laps until he can repair the damage. And unfortunately for him, he can't really do that much because it seems he is on a strategy, and if he wants to stay on the same strategy, he needs to, yeah, stay out. Space and Milano both have pitted after they had damage. They have changed their strategy and are now lapping a bit faster than Alexander, but not that much faster.
I think Alexander is losing, I think 3, max 2 or 4 seconds per lap. So when he has to drive, I don't know, 14 or 15 laps, he's losing about 45 seconds due to its damage. I don't know if it's better to pit immediately to repair damage or staying out. We'll see what will be possible for him later.
Yeah, we have a direct comparison now. We have 2 drivers that pitted after damage, and we have 1 driver that stays out. Let's see who will be in the better position at the end of the stint. Super GT now 6.5 seconds in front. Okay, still working, that's good.
Enzo has half a second time penalty again. I think he has a lot of time penalties.
Okay, who has penalties? Ento.
Yes, again half a second.
Yeah, okay. 10 seconds in front of Vulcan, 6.5 seconds behind Super GT. But yeah, considering he was spun out in the first lap, He's in a very good position right now. But yeah, the pace has dropped because the hybrid system isn't working anymore, or let's say it isn't. It is very weak.
In GTE we have three cars close together, P9 to 11.
Oh, did they catch up? No.
I think it's the closest battle on track for now.
Okay, yeah, then let's look at that. Tinin against Golfo with Megal in the popcorn position. Let's say that. It's a strange livery on the RX Porsche. Usually you would be used to have a black golden livery, but this time it's a white violet livery. That's cool. I think they used it in the first race in Monza as well. And oh, Megal has a half-second penalty, I see. Will he sit it out right now, or will he sit it out in the next lap? Yeah, he must have catch the penalty before before the Indianapolis corner, probably in that right-hander. So yeah, about penalties, yeah, the penalties, they are very, very, let's say, they come fast. The penalties come very fast. If you go over the line a bit, then you already get one. Even if you try to slow down, you'll get one anyway. So if you already know that you're going to off the track, then you can as well floor it, because there's no use. But yeah, Tinen needs to go into the pits in about 6 laps or so. I don't think his fuel will last much longer than that. As for Golfo and Megal, they seem to be both on the 2-stop strategy. As well as Otaku. And Megal, yeah, he still has the penalty, okay.
Yes. I had a little break, I was on toilet, but now I'm back.
Welcome back.
That front Super GT now has a gap of 11 seconds to Ento.
Yeah, quite a increase of the gap.
Last lap of Ento was a 3-minute 27.
Yeah, maybe he had a penalty to sit out, and he spins! Damage on the front. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And
yes,
Vulcan
says thank you.
Says thank you and goes into P2, whereas Ento now has to decide if he wants to continue on or if he wants to pit and go for a different strategy again.
It's no suspension damage, but front damage will cost a lot of top speed on those straights. He has,
Yeah,
I think, about 30 liters of fuel left, so
and
I don't know if he can change his strategy or he has to go forward. And he's
he goes
coming
into the pits.
to the pits.
Blasphemy, what colors would you like? I think it was asked to Nushel what colors he would like.
Last lap of Super GT was a 3-minute 32. He also lost 10 seconds because now Vulcan is 8 seconds behind. At least Super GT has no damage, so I think he spun or he went wide somewhere.
And with this, Lars should go get past Ento. And
Yeah, and
Flive is also gaining a bit of time to Lars. Interestingly, a few people are driving the chicane with very much curb. They go quite a bit on the right side and take a bit of curb to get better to the chicanes. That's something I do not do because of safety, but yeah, if you can do that, good for you. Now
I
Flive is 3
think
seconds in front of Ento. Yeah, sorry.
I think it can depend on car and setup if you can take curbs a lot or not.
Yeah, I think it's also dependent on the car. Setup also plays a role, but it's more the car than the setup. Because you can, for example, you can make the suspension as soft as you can on the Audi and it will still be very hard on curbs. You can do the same on the Ferrari, it will still also be very hard on curbs, but a bit softer than the Audi. And then you have other cars like, for example, I don't know, the Lexus.
I see Ento still has his damage. He didn't repair his damage at pit stop.
Yeah, now either he did get damage again, which I do not think, or he has simply forgotten that he has to repair damage. It can happen to any one of us, so yeah, no blame for him.
No repair damage or forget to refuel. I think
No, he did
everyone
refuel.
happened. Yeah, but I will once say this mistake. Don't repair damage or don't fuel. I think everyone knows this mistake in GT. I think
Yeah,
everyone has happened it at least one time.
yeah, it happened to me also several times. I don't think it ever happened to me in a DES race, but in several RC races I had this problem as well, so yeah, can happen.
So now. We will see what he's doing. Is he staying out or is he coming in the pits again? Because now he's the last 5 seconds behind Glavi, but if he's pit again, he will be up to 2 minutes behind the leader.
Yeah, I'm looking at the GT class again. We have Knight Rider in P7, then Otaku in P8, and Golfo has gone past Tinin.
And Alexander was in pit. Damage is repaired now and he has a complete full tank.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Maybe he will come about 1 hour with this fuel tank. He needs to do 14 laps with it to reach lap 30. But then he probably needs to do another 15 lap stint, and with the Aston Martin it seems to be quite difficult to do that. So yeah, Alexander now 10 minutes 31 behind the leader, and this means that he is about 1 minute 10 or 1 minute 20 behind Knight Rider. And Knight Rider is on a 2-stop.
Enter staying out. So he will go further on with his damage.
Yeah, it's a bit stupid to pit again now because the pit is so long in Le Mans. You will lose so much time.
Yeah, I know. Similar like in our Group 3 race 24 hours in Spa.
Yeah, correct. But Spa has a reason to have a very long pit time because the pit is about a kilometer long or so. Okay, Tinin is coming closer to Golfer again because he had to sit out his penalty. And they're close again. Space Ace has also overtaken Alexander now, as well as Milano, and wow, Alexander is 35 seconds behind Milano. Even for a pit stop, this is quite a bit of time that he's behind, because we had outlaps of 413. We have had an outlap of, for example, Space Ace. It was 411. But if you look at Alexander, he's a wow. He's at 4 minutes now, and he still has a minute of a lap to complete. So something is strange here. Maybe he did a mistake or slowed down. But where did he lose a minute of time? Can you explain this, Eddie?
I don't know. I think 419 that was the in lap. Yes,
Yeah,
when he
490.
when he
Sorry.
fuel up with complete tank 100 liter, I think that's 50 seconds nearly. At least
Yeah,
Milan
okay.
has
Okay.
about, let's say, half a tank. So and Alexander has now full tank, so that at least 25 seconds he will gain for the rest of the stint.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this explains a lot now, but it's still a very, very slow outlap here. 456. Nearly 5 minutes. That has cost a lot here. And he's now, what was the gap? 11:14 against 9:44. So it's 90 seconds now. It seems to
When
be
I
even
look
10
at
seconds more.
Space Ace, his lap 9 was, maybe, I'm not sure if it was a in or out, but it was a 5 minute 20.
Yeah, I guess it was his outlap because he had damage and then he pitted again. So that's probably where the 5 minute 20 come from. Okay, let's look at the LMH class again because we haven't seen them for a while. Super GT 14 seconds in front of Vulcan. And Vulcan is 37 seconds in front of Urquattro. Interestingly, I cannot really see why Urquattro is that much behind, because there are no laps where he could have been in the pits. But
I think Urquato, he did his last lap without energy left, and Vulcan has a bit of energy left, but now he is also at the limit.
that is true, but it's still 3 minute 35, 3 minute 31. That's 9 seconds lower than his. And then another 12 seconds now lost. I think he must made a mistake
Yes,
somewhere.
perfect. 35 is a slow lap, very slow lap. And now he has 1 second to serve, which doesn't help.
If you look at Lars, he's much more consistent. 329s, 328s, 327. Very consistent pace, and he's not really losing time. Then Vlijf, 13 seconds behind Lars, is about 1 second or 2 seconds faster than Lars in every lap. He's catching up to Alexander, needs to lap him in a few corners, maybe at Arnage.
Our Spanish driver did a little mistake. He went wide because he braked too late, and now we could have a close fight for P9 to 11 here in GT class, which is P3 to 5 in their class.
Yeah, true. Golfo, Tinin, and Mega Isle are all very close together now.
I think we are close together nearly the whole race.
Yeah, because at the first stint they were all very close at the start and didn't really lose another. And now the guy with the best cart at the moment is Mega L because he has more fuel than the others. Tinin is only there because he has. Mega L is.
Freestyle.
No, don't tell me, don't tell me.
All good.
That would have been super cool if he made that overtake, but he saw that it is probably not a good idea, so he had to brake and let the others go.
We are fighting, and behind them Vulcan will lap them now.
Now Golfo again on the left side tries to overtake, braking later, and gets the overtake done. Whereas Vulcan is coming. Luca, also Mega in the background. Sorry if I say Luca, because Mega is my brother, so I often refer to him by his real name.
And now Tiny Steelian overtake him again. And Mega L is watching it all the time behind him.
Yeah, probably a good occasion to save fuel for him. So yeah, I need to eat now. So I will mute myself. Maybe you can talk a bit, and I will switch to the field without commenting, more or less. But at the moment we have a fight for P9 to P11, so we will keep it at that. And yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
So now it's me alone for you guys. Yeah, and actually on track we don't have really a lot of fights. Only with 3 guys from P9 to 11 still close together. No cars with damage. Even Ento now he had come to pits and repaired his damage. So now he can attack again. So for now, no cars with damage. All drivers can attack. Tires are looking good at most cars. So let's see, Last has to lap a GTE car. I think he can easily do it on straight. Said and done. We have Knight Rider at P7 who has time penalty, half of a second. But not big problem, he is 16 seconds ahead of Otaku. Looks like Otaku's, I think, an average about half a second slower than Knight Rider. But he's doing a good lap. He was at he started P13 and now he's P8. He jumped a lot of cars thanks to his strategy. So Golford, Teeny, Stain and Mega L still close together. I think we will, if we are going to sleep this night, we will dream about each three. And we back Alexander trying to catch up. At least I think he has gained 1 second to Milano. But he's still 35 seconds behind him. I don't really know what happened to Alexander. Yes, I know he has damage and roof, but yeah, we will see where he end up. Milano at P13 is nearly 18 seconds behind Space Ace. He's nearly 30 seconds behind our three guys. Invalid Super GT now has nearly 19 seconds gap to Vulcan. And Vulcan has less fuel. I think he will pit in next 1 or 2 laps. Then we have Quattro at P3, 50 seconds behind Vulcan and 4 seconds in front of Lars. Lars is catching up, I think 1 or 2 seconds per lap to Quattro, so perhaps we could have a little fight, but Lars went wide into turn 2. He was trying to lap GTE car and brake too late. Now he has lost nearly 3 seconds to Quattro. And we have Flaviv into the pits. He's doing his second stop. New tires, new fuel. We will see how much fuel he will put into his tank. I think Ento was about more than 50 seconds behind him, but I think he will overtake him. Yes, Ento now goes in front up to P5. So what is Flavi doing? He could be on a free stop. About, I don't think, nearly 80% of fuel. I think he has to stop again the last time later on. Our American driver Teeny Stain was in pits. He also has about 80% of fuel in the tank now. He was lapped by Ento now, who has again a half a second time penalty. Now I stay on Lars. I think he could lap someone middle of Porsche corners, but not really. He's a little bit too far behind, so he could lap him after 3 corners. Oh, some minutes left, and then we have got half of a stint done, and still another half to go. So Vulcan is losing time to Super GT last lap. He has lost nearly 3 seconds. It looks like Super GT is much faster than Vulcan without battery. Or perhaps he can gain a little bit more of energy back and use it later on. Vulcan now has nearly empty tank, so I think he will stop this or latest next lap. So Ento serves his penalty, and what he's doing, he gets another penalty. A shame we don't have a time penalty counter for the stream. I think this counter will explode while we stint. Yes, Vulcan is coming into the pits. 1% of fuel left in his tank. Yes, Nushel said, with half of the race gone, there's still half a race to go. And it's only with stint. This is the second stint of 7. So 4.5 hour of race time is gone, and we still have, I think 16.5 hours to go.
Alright, I am back now. Sorry for the break, but I needed it because I will be driving the next stint as well, so I just need to be at my best, so if I don't eat, I will not be at my best.
Yeah, you don't really miss anything. Ento went into the pits 3 laps ago to repair his damage. But instead, yeah, nothing really happened. Only some pits by drivers, no damage. At least I couldn't see any damage for now.
Golf and Mega, those two lovebirds are still very close, I can see. With 357s, 358s, 4 minutes.
I think some minutes ago I said if we are going to sleep this night, we will dream about each other.
Yeah, probably. Excuse
Because
me.
now we're nearly about half time and we still have 1.5 hour to go.
Yeah, it's difficult to keep concentrated for 3 hours. 1.5 hours is no problem, 2 hours is also no problem, but 3 hours, yeah, this can be difficult for some drivers, especially for some older folks. They might not be, or they might have difficulty to drive 3 hours stints and will maybe only drive one if they can. And now there are the Orga members of DES who drive 3 stints, commentate 3, stream 3 stints, or in the case of Thank You, stream 1 stint, drive 3 stints, 2 of them right in a succession because they had no other possibility.
And I hope next week we will get a lot more of help, because then some of our Orga members are not there.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
and Nuschel will not be available, so we will need all the helpers we can get. Hopefully this works out.
7 hosts, 7 co-hosts, 7 streamers, 7 co-commentators, and at least 1 or 2 people who are working with a gap document.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Tinin and Alexander are close together. Maybe we can see a battle there. Although Alexander has a 1 second penalty.
Yeah, Tini was in pits, I think, 3 laps ago.
The lap times of Alexander are quite good. We can see 357, 356, 355.
I think some laps ago he was up to 37 seconds behind Milan, and now it's about 28 seconds or 29. So at least Alexander could reduce the gap to his front cars.
Hmm.
So Kudezu in the chat, he's asking where's the rain? Yeah, actually we don't have seen any rain so far, but what doesn't happen till now could still happen.
Yeah, who knows? At the moment there is no rain, but it could turn up at any time. It could turn up in 10 minutes, it could turn up in half an hour, it could not turn up at all. Who knows?
Last 24-hour race we did in Spa, I think we only had real rain, only one stint. It was at night. I'm not sure if it was the 3rd or 4th stint.
I think it was during the 2nd stint, if I'm not mistaken.
It was at night. There was heavy rain when it was night in game. We are now 2nd stint. We have evening. I don't think we will see night in the stint.
Yeah, maybe it will turn into night in a few minutes or so. Who knows? Because the time stamps. Ui, Tinin with a correction on his car. The car looked like it would be sideways, but it didn't happen, luckily. Yeah, about
When
the times. The times I think for the evening, the time for the evening is already about 18:00, so 6 p.m. And then if you look at the evening, it's about 8:30 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. And night is 10:30 p.m. or so. So in theory, if we reach 2 hours, it should be the same conditions as we would have when we start at night, or maybe it is 2 hours and 30 minutes. So maybe in an hour we will get the same conditions. So yeah, it's all a bit complicated because we can't set the time on our own. Only with these preset times. And if we look at, for example, dusk and evening, they are maybe 15 minutes apart, so doesn't really make a difference. Now Super GT is 1 minute 27 in front of everyone. That's because Ur4 has pitted a few laps ago. And Ur4 goes into the pits again. Maybe it was just slow. Okay.
5% of fuel left. I think he could do one more lap, but yeah. And I think Vulcan will attack Lars soon.
Yeah, let's stay with him for a bit.
When you were eating, I find out when I compare times from Super GT and Vulcan, both drivers had no battery left, but Super GT was an average 2 to 3 seconds faster than Vulcan.
Wow.
I don't know if I think Super G perhaps he could gain a little bit more battery back. And yeah, when he loses, then he'll gain a lot of time. So Vulcan now right at his back of Lars.
Yeah, all over the gearbox. And with a good exit out of corner, can overtake Lars. No problem at all.
So Vulcan back at P2.
Lars tries to get back in the slipstream, but seems to have less speed than Vulcan. Maybe Vulcan has less aero,
Now
or
that battery of Lars is working, so he has a little more top speed now. But he's staying behind. He goes off throttle.
can I please get a quick update on Xanai Golfo? Ichinat asks. Yeah, let's look. Golfo is in P9 in front of Megael, 3 seconds behind Otaku, and 28 seconds or so behind Knight Rider. Otaku has had a bit of trouble during a lapping process, it seems, has lost a bit of time, and now it's only 2.4 seconds. Both Otaku and Golfo seem to be on a 2-stop strategy, as well as Megael, who has a bit more fuel left, maybe one more lap. So you might be able to jump them in the last stint. But these are good times that they are driving. They are driving 357, 358. Golfo the same, more or less exactly the same, because they are close together for like the whole race. Golfo has 19% of fuel left. He could go maybe 4 more laps, maybe into lap 29, who knows? No, not 29, but 28. Or maybe 27, who knows?
I think Golfo catched up a little bit to Otaku. I thought the gap was over 4 seconds all the time. Now it's 2.3 seconds.
Yeah, that's what we saw. Obviously, Otaku has lost a bit of ground in the 24th lap, and he also lost a bit of time when he was lapped by Super GT.
Yeah, I think Super GT will come pits this or next lap.
Yeah, let's look at Otaku a bit. This car, the Lexus, has won the first round at Monza in the GT class.
Yeah, Kangaroo is writing chat 4 cars crash in the same round. I think that was a round with 3 damaged GTE cars behind.
Yeah, probably that was the lap with the 3 cars that were damaged in the. Yeah, that was this lap. Yeah, 2 seconds slower now, Otaku. This is not a good lap.
Kangaroo is writing 3 GTE cars and Vulcan too, if I remember right.
Yeah, that's possible.
That sounds correct.
Now the gap is only 2 seconds between Otaku and Golfo. But let's look through the field a bit. Space Ace is 27 seconds behind Mega L.
And we
And
have Super GT into the pits.
whereas Super GT has gone into the pits correctly. Then Milano is 22 seconds behind Space Ace and needs to pit in this lap. And yeah, it will be difficult to get 20 laps out of this car. It's possible, but will be very difficult to do.
In the chat, there are no Cougars in Le Mans. PD, please fix it. I know that cars from GT4 or 5 were Pescarolos.
Alexander has driven a personal best lap in the 24th lap at 3:54.9, so the pace is still there. But of course, with the damage, he fell back quite a lot. But yeah, Space stays in the pits and Milano as well. Now the question is, do they need to pit again? Or do they just do 2 10-lap stints, maybe fill up to 70 liters and go for it?
He's now out and he has a complete full tank, but I'm not sure if he can go to the end now without a stop. I think he has to pit again. I'm not sure if you can do 18 minutes without the pit stop.
Yeah, I guess you can. Yeah, I think it's possible.
We will see. Vulcan is about 10 seconds behind Super GT, but has half of tank left.
Yeah, and the Space Ace at Milano are standing still for an eternity. Now Space Ace can finally leave the pits. And Milano is still refueling. And gets out of the pits as well. Super GT now only 11 seconds in front of Vulcan. The best lap is still a 3:21.146, and I don't think it will be improved again because the hybrid power is used for literally all LMH cars now. Then Vulcan seems to be at the same pace as Super GT, if not even a bit faster. Lars is doing a good job. He's not the fastest, but he seems to be very consistent. He's in P3, only 17 seconds behind Super GT and 51 seconds in front of Ur4. And Ur4 is 15 seconds in front of Ento, who somehow, even though he pitted like 2 times because of damage, because he once didn't repair it, is still only 1 minute 20 behind Super GT. And Flive also had damage once and is still only 1 minute 47 behind. So the field is still comparably close together. Knight Rider is still on it with 56 pace, 57, pretty stable. He should have fuel for, let's say, for 2 more laps. He can finish the 27th, maybe also the 28th.
Bosworth is angry in the chat. Where is the wet weather?
Yeah,
I hope and we will see it at least for one time here in the race.
Yeah, it would be great to have wet weather. But yeah, we need to wait until it happens, or if it even happens. Chances are mostly quite slim for rain, because I've heard it's in about one of 5 cases where the lobby can have rain.
I think the chances of rain with random weather is very, very low. Only on some tracks there's perhaps the chance a bit higher. For example, I often had rain in lobbies with random weather when we were driving on the Nürburgring N24. On Nürburgring in general.
Yeah, I can imagine that also you will have wet weather quite often at the Red Bull Ring. And yeah, Le Mans is probably a bit less active, a bit less frequent for rain, but who knows, it can still happen. And if it happens, then because it is quite a long track, you need to be very aware of it. Oh, Knight Rider with a bit of sand he's taking, but nothing happened, no mistake. Otak with a half-second penalty is 27 seconds behind Knight Rider and probably needs to pit in this lap, maybe in the next.
I think he can do one more lap. Same as Knight Rider.
Yeah, Knight has even a bit less of fuel. Okay.
Mega L can do, I don't know, 3-4 laps?
Yeah, I can probably do. It can probably go until lap 30 or so. But yeah, Knight goes for another lap. And this one seems to be a good lap, yeah. Not bad, a 3:56.1. It was a good lap, it was a fast lap.
Would you call Knight Rider cheater because he's using traction control?
Yeah, I wouldn't use it I wouldn't use it, but it's his choice. I think it's more consistency for him. Golfo goes into the pits and Mega L continues. That was to be expected. Otaku will probably do one more lap, and for Megael, I don't know. We need to see.
I think he wasn't pit in lap 10, so with double tank, I think he will come to the pits in lap 30.
Yeah, he could if he wants to, but he doesn't really need to. He
Yeah, I
can
think
go earlier,
yeah,
or
GT cars, I think we are regularly doing 45 laps. I don't know if lap 36 is possible or not.
yeah, lap 46 is possible. We had RTO with what's his name, who really was able to go for 46 laps and could even finish that lap. And we also had Iggy, who reached the 46th lap by a few mere seconds, but he reached it and wasn't able to finish it because he wasn't going to the finish, and because of this 180 seconds counter, yeah, unfortunately he couldn't finish the lap then. Golfo fell back behind Alexander, but is 7 seconds in front of Tinin. Then Space Ace 26 seconds behind Tinin, and Milano 20 further seconds behind Space Ace. Yeah, it's quite a pity because they were so good at the beginning, and now they don't seem to have the same pace anymore. Now in the LMH class we have Super GT, 10 seconds in front of Vulcan. He has pitted a few laps ago. And I think Eddie isn't sure if he can make it to the end. He thinks he might need to pit again.
We will see. According to Notional, it's possible to do 80 minutes with a Mercedes, but 80 minutes with a Mercedes means 20 laps. Yes, I think with a LMDH car you have to do more than 20 laps in 18 minutes.
Yeah, but the LMH car have a bit less fuel consumption.
Yeah.
Knight Rider goes into the pits in this lap. I think Otaku will follow, and maybe Megael will stay out. Yep, Otaku goes into the pits as well. He's been able to do 357, 358, 357s. Pretty stable lap times. Knight Rider gets another set of softs and will refuel to the brim, I reckon. Whereas Megael, as expected, continues for at least one more lap. And although for a very brief moment, but he takes the lead of the GT class in this stint.
Chat is talking about, I don't know how to say it, what PD is doing with the 118 seconds after the race is finished.
Yeah, but
Take it, take it or leave it.
yeah, but to be fair, it already didn't work in Le Mans in GT Sport, so it's not different here. The only difference is that it also doesn't work for that it also doesn't work for Nürburgring and 24, and this is quite an issue. Anyway, Knight Rider has come out of the pits, and he came out 44 seconds behind Megael and 22 seconds in front of Alexander, who himself is 2 seconds in front of Otaku.
So now I think Naira tries to go to the end.
Well, Otaku will go to the end, Knight Rider will go to the end as well. As I said, RC is always going for the 2-stop, at least I think most of us will. Because we think the 2-stop is faster for us. Yeah. Otaku also with a 2-stop. I think it might also be the fastest strategy for the Lexus. All in all, it seems to be that the BOP is working well. The cars are quite close together. Although there might be a question mark on the Aston Martin, maybe it is too strong, but I can't really say that. For me, it wasn't that strong. Maybe I just am not good with the Aston. And you are also a BOP helper. You tested these cars as well, and you approved of it. So I guess you tested the Aston Martin as well, did you?
Yeah, I tested perhaps couple laps, but for me it was nothing special. It was a bit thing different or difficult to set up because we Aston Martin without ballast has a perfect balance setup, 50 to 50, a weight distribution. And when but you have to put, I don't know, a lot of ballast to him, and I don't know, should I put ballast to the front? Should I let it stay in the middle? Should I put it in the end? And how to set up the rest of the car. It has a good feeling in corners. I don't thought it would be fast on the straight, but surprisingly, in qualifying, when I compared my time to the Aston guy, he was even faster than me on the straight in the BMW. I think he is not a slow car here on the straights.
Yeah, of course, on paper the Aston Martin has more power than the other cars. I think it's... Oh, Megal goes for a 30th lap, goes for a 20th lap in this stint, and will go for a short stint at the end with only 15 laps or so. So he needs to refuel about 75 liters or maybe 80. Just a little reserve, just to be sure. But yeah, the Aston, although it has so much power, it isn't really that strong on the straights. At least for me it wasn't. And I was already driving it with no downforce at all, or with as little as possible. Of course, it was good on straight. It was also very good at accelerating. Maybe it's a bit too good at the accelerating. Maybe it needs a bit less power, but anyway, the BOP is like it is, so it should be fair as it is. I also need to say that the RTO guys seem to be very fast and are doing a great job, so without being too serious, with being serious, it's probably a combination of a good car and very good drivers. I think in GTS at the Nordschleife the timer went to 10 minutes or so. Yeah, at the Nordschleife it went to 10 minutes. I don't think it works in a GT7 though.
Let's look at that. Take it or leave it.
Who said that?
Nuschel. I
Huh.
think it was Nuschel with take it or leave it with. Oh! Lars went into the pits, he braked too late and he crashed into the wall. But surprisingly, he doesn't get any damage.
No, that's not surprising, because when you're in the pits, as soon as you are in the pit lane, you don't get damage anymore. And the same at the pit exit. You can touch the wall, for example, at Spa on the outside, and you would not get damage.
Wall
You will
riding.
only get damage once you're out of the pits.
Wall riding possible.
Yes. Vulcan lost a bit of time on Super GT. It's now
We
14
have
seconds.
damage for Ento, front and front right suspension damage.
Oh yeah.
And he's right going into the pits. I don't know what happened. I think he spun or hit the wall or anything else. I hope no collision with a GTE car.
Okay, Megail now with the last drop of fuel needs to go to the pits in this lap. And now we can see if this strategy works. He will probably put less fuel in the tank, maybe just 75 liters or so. So he will stay in the pits for 10 seconds less. And we will see if that has any consequence. The cars already had to activate the lights, and we can see that it darkens.
Let's hope Ento will repair this damage this time, not last time where...
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, damage is not anymore. And let's hope it will stay for him the rest of the stint. 2 hours behind us and 1 hour still to go.
Alexander is going for one more lap. 6 seconds behind him is Otaku. And then another 5 seconds behind is Xanai Golf. And it will be this area where Megail will come out, probably.
And Lars has come out into...
Yeah, Megail has refueled 80 liters and he comes out a few seconds in front of Golfo. So the overcut has worked.
And he has now a little bit fresher tires.
Yeah, but the first 1 or 2 laps will be a bit difficult because you need to get the tires up to temperature,
Yeah,
and you won't have as much grip as later on. So Golfo might be able to get back to him, but this time Megail doesn't need to worry about fuel because he has more than enough fuel in the tank.
Lars has a 3-second time penalty. I'm not sure if he crossed line while pit entry or exit. I think it can only be one of these two things.
It must be one of these two things because I don't think he was fighting with anybody on the track.
Or did a massive cut or anything like that.
Yeah, but now 3 seconds, he needs to sit it out. And this is of course devastating. This costs such a lot of time.
Let's see how much it really costs. Laviv is about 17.5 seconds behind. Now he gets to the penalty area. Let's see how much he can gain the whole straight.
It was 17.5, and at the end of the straights, it's
nearly,
about 14 seconds.
Yeah, so it costs up to 3.5 seconds in total.
Yeah, but it will probably cost him a little bit more because the hybrid energy was of course used with this braking, and accelerating again, so he made up even half a second more than that. Okay, Super GT has now lapped Vulcan. Then Vulcan needs to pit in about 10 minutes or so, or maybe even 20. Nah, 20 is way too much. Let's say in about 4 laps or so, he needs to pit. Then Urquattro, 1 minute 7 behind. Might get closer to him, but he also needs to pit at the same time, more or less. So it won't be possible. Lars, he can maybe go. He can probably go to the end. And Flive also is on more or less the same strategy as Vulcan and Urquattro. Needs to pit quite soon. And Ento, yeah, he might be on his last stop. Maybe he needs to pit again, but at least from him we know that he can save fuel, so then back again. Knight Rider is in front. Alexander is now pitting. We'll need to refuel about yeah, probably full tank. We'll lose another 90 seconds or so. Then Mega L has even increased the gap to Golfo a bit, 2.5 seconds now. 3.3 behind Otaku. Very good result of Mega L. And Tinin, 8.5 seconds behind Golfo. With a bit of a drift at the end of the chicane. But he needs to pit quite soon, I think in 2 laps. Lap 33. Then he needs to pit. Space Ace needs to pit one more time as well. And Milano, yeah, same for him. I don't think they will make it to the end unless they save a lot of fuel. And now Alexander is falling behind the group. And gets a 3-second penalty for, well, cutting the pit entry line, so it seems. If he would have cut the pit exit line, he would get a penalty, or he would have gotten a penalty a few seconds ago. Yeah. Not more. We don't really have a battle going on here. We have just Otaku, Mega L and Golfo being quite close. And Mega L seems to push a bit now for the lap times because he's taking up time to Otaku. Just a bit foggy. Yeah, it's foggy, and of course it gets dark because we started in the evening.
But I don't think we will see any rain in this stint.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Sucks that you can't look at the radar as a spectator. Yeah, it sucks that you can't look at any of the cards here. You can't look at the track map. You can't look at the radar. You can't look at fuel consumption. You can't look at brake balance. You can't look at fuel mix. Nothing. You can really do nothing. You have to be lucky to see whatever is done right. But yeah, at the moment we have foggy weather, but still no rain. Maybe it will come later, but at the moment it does look dry. And Megael is driving a good lap here. It was a 3:57.2, only 4 tenths behind his personal best. And Golfo lost a bit of time. It's 4.6 seconds now. And he's also worse on fuel than Megael, so he can't push as much as Megael can. Tinin, this will be his last lap on this stint. Then he needs to pit and refuel for about 12 more laps. JCR will lose more time again because Space Says is only in P12 at the moment, and it looks that he might to pit again at the end of the. He needs to pit again in a few laps, and I think he needs to refuel for about 4 more laps or so. He has gone a bit wide. I think this will be a penalty. But yet the GTWS races, they've got like 50,000 different camera angles. Yeah.
We have someone in chat who says, yeah, sucks that you can't look at the radar as a spectator. You can look at radar only if some driver has the radar on. When you try to go on Night Rider, there you can see the weather or the weather radar. But only.
No, at least I can't. I think it's more or less random.
I can see weather radar when I goes to Night Rider, but he didn't zoomed out. He only zoomed in for 10 kilometers instead
And
of.
what do you see at Xanai Golfo? Because I see the fuel there. Fuel mix and.
Okay, I don't see fuel mix. I don't see the track map. I see track map at all cars. Only for Night Rider I see weather radar.
Yeah, and I see the track map on most cars except for Golfo, where I see the fuel.
Okay, then PD is doing strange things.
Not the first time.
And it will be not the last time.
Yeah. Oh, Super GT has picked up a 1 second penalty. And as we can see, it gets darker with every minute passing by. I think at the end of the stint it might be completely dark. Nenkai hacked himself into the GTVS spectator mode, so many crazy possibilities PD locks away from us. Yeah, Nenkai is somewhat of the insider that can give us data very fast, and even if there is an update, like the update picture that the cast shows for literally every update coming, with the 3 cars that will be following with the next update, he also already could confirm that there will be a new Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 3. There will also be a new Subaru Impreza. and an Aston Martin Valkyrie, which is a bit surprising because I didn't expect that car in the game, but it's of course great to see such a car. And I'm not sure if this car is already in any game.
And then I will be surprised to see if it will be categorized as a sport car or as a race car, because I would say it's a Formula 1 car for roads.
So it's a road car.
It's a road car, but the aerodynamics and power is more like an extreme racing car. It only weighs about 1000 kilogram or anything like that, I think. It's designed by Adrian Newey, the aerodynamic god of Formula 1.
Yeah, true. Super GT now had to serve his 1.5 second penalty. Now we can look at Vulcan and see if the gap is getting smaller, and indeed it does. Super GT lost about 3 seconds with this 1.5 second penalty.
I think it was 2 seconds.
I think it was 3, but maybe
Because
I'm looking wrong.
when Lars had his 3-second time penalty, I think he lost 3.5 seconds.
Yeah, there is a trick to get less.
Yeah,
There is a trick to get less penalty time, or at least there is a trick to get slowed down less,
yeah, I know.
which RC won't do because that's unfair. Anyway, now Vulcan is in the pits. Quattro will follow Vulcan in the pits, very probably, because otherwise he would have a massive problem. He's 1 minute 20 behind Vulcan and 36 seconds in front of Lars, but again, Lars probably doesn't need to pit anymore. He can go to the end.
Vulcan will stay at P2, but I'm not sure if Lars could get to P3 and catch Quattro.
No, Lars can probably catch Quattro without a problem.
Then we have Flavi, who has to pit this or next lap, and Ento, who can drive to the end. Perhaps he could catch up Quattro.
Yeah, it will be difficult, but yeah, no, maybe he can. Why not? Fuel looks good at Super GT. Nice job, says FGR Enzo Ferrari. Yeah, looks very good. It looks like that FGR can be victorious in this stint. Knight Rider is 32 seconds in front of Otaku and 18 minutes behind Super GT. Then Otaku has extended his gap to Mega L again. Maybe Mega L did a mistake or something, but it's 5.2 seconds now. And Mega L has already used his extra fuel, and it seems he can't get closer to Otaku again, but he makes up a bit of a gap to Xanai Golfer, who is now 6 seconds behind Mega L. Space Ace, again, I don't know if he can make it to the end or if he has to go to the pits again, the same as Milano. I honestly don't think they will be able to get to the end. I think they need to refuel for a few more laps and need to go into the pits and lose a bit of time. As for Alexander, he should be able to get to the end. He has 75 liters in the tank. Should be no problem to finish.
Now we have Laviv into the pits, and I think while he pits, he will get lapped by Super GT. And Super GT gets a time penalty 1 second. I think it will last chicanes or somewhere there. Yes, Lavi is now lapped in his class.
Yeah, and Super GT is doing a great job with being 1 minute 23 in front of Vulcan. It didn't look like that at the beginning that the Super GT could be as fast as the others, but he seems to be the most consistent out of these drivers.
FGR, we were, I think, P5 in the first stint, but we had a gap of 1 minute 36, so
Who has a gap of 1 minute 36?
yeah, so I think FGR could take the lead after the second stint at all.
Ah, you're looking at the gaps of a document.
In total, yes. And the leader was
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
last driving the team of a leader, and he's over 2 minutes behind, so I think Fieldgriff Racing could take the lead now. And now Super G has 1.5 seconds of time penalty.
yeah, if he gets penalties like that, he probably won't be able to get the lead. But yeah, yeah, maybe he can. Maybe he can because the leader in the LMH class is JCR with Lars, and he's 2 minute 10 behind. Super GT is yeah is 1 minute 22 in front of Vulcan, and WSR has already 1 minute 30 gap to JCR. So they will have an advantage of about 1 minute 17 if they finish like that to WSR, and an advantage of maybe 32 seconds to JCR. And if you look at Halex, they're even more behind, 2 minute 48. They will lose a bit of time as well. BNR isn't really in the fight, and HPSR is close behind JCR, but will lose another 32 seconds to JCR, so it seems. So yeah, it's, as you said, it's a possibility that FGR can lead the hyperclass after this stint. As for the GT class, it's a bit more As for the GT class, it's a bit more complicated because the gaps are quite big.
Knight Rider has now a gap of more than half a minute to Otaku.
Yeah, and WSR is already 2 minutes behind RC2 anyway, so they will be 2 minute 30 behind. After that, then we have RC3 following, because the RC1 car is an LMH car and it hasn't qualified, so it's only 2 and 3. And yeah, Megal making up the gap to Golfo. Golfo in the last stint isn't really competitive. At the moment we have a RTO leading by 1 minute in front of a Hale X4 and about 1 minute 13 in front of RC2. Maybe the gap was yeah, but we also need to say that the gap is probably about 30 seconds or so smaller. No, the gap from RTO to RRC is about 30 seconds bigger than it is written down, because they finished lap 46 and therefore had 30 seconds more gap to... Yeah, it's difficult to explain. But basically they did a lap more and therefore they lost about 30 seconds of the lead because of that, but they will get it back when the official results come back, so yeah.
So Super GT now is losing a bit of time, 1 second, and he has again half a second time of penalty.
Yeah, in the end he's really picking up those penalties like cans, like beer cans.
Normally
Not
when I
knowing.
look to Ento, he always had a time penalty, but this time I think he has learned the track limits. Ento is about 8 seconds behind Urquato. Let's see if he can catch him up.
Both can go to the end now, so it's definitely possible to catch him.
I think most cars will go to the end. Now only behind, I think, Space Ace and Milano. I don't think we can go to the end. Or we can go and have, but we have to save fuel extremely.
Yeah, there are multiple possibilities how to do it, but at the moment it doesn't look like Ento is slowing down. So he's catching up, and he's catching up fast.
Yeah, I think 2 or 3 seconds per lap possible. It was 8 seconds we gap before or after 1-2 minutes. Now 6.6 seconds.
Okay. If you look through the field again, Nitride is 34 seconds in front of Otaku. 6 seconds in front, who is 6 seconds in front of Mega L. Still very good lap times, 357.7, 358.4. For him, that's good lap times. And Golfo is not really keeping up. And the gap to Space Ace has been the same. And for Milano has lost a bit of time, it seems, because last time where I looked, I thought he was 20 seconds behind Space Ace, but this time it's 30. And yeah, we might have night conditions at the end of the stint. Alexander is driving 357s. Maybe he needs to save a bit of fuel so that he can go to the end. And Tinin should also have enough fuel now so that he doesn't need to stop anymore. What's the gap between Xanai and the Aston roughly? Okay, Alexander is about 21:55 behind. Golfo is 20 minutes 58 behind, so about a minute. That's about a minute.
Yeah, something like 56, 57 seconds.
Yeah, you have to add a few seconds because of the LMH cars. It's probably more of a minute than
Yeah.
57 seconds. Super GT still with a gap of 1 minute 21 to Vulcan. And Lars has gone past Urquattro. Oh, no. Sorry.
No, he was
Urquattro and
already
Ento was the battle. I'm already quite tired, and then I have to drive 3 more hours. This will be great. Gotta grab myself an energy drink and hope for the best.
I think I have to do the same next week. Driving, then perhaps some Orga stuff doing, then again driving or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sorry I can't help this time, but yeah, the trip to Le Mans has already been planned for months, so and I didn't think that we would have another race a week later. So
Yeah, it was not planned all the time that we will have 2 weekends to drive here in Le Mans.
yeah, we could not expect that. Yeah, for the reason why we have so many teams is also partly because of Flipsy, who has obviously taken some time, did his hitch doctor magic, and yeah, brought us many new teams. We are at about 30 teams now, and if I want to name them all, we have at the moment we have Apex Motorsports, we have RX, we have BN Racing, we have the Coyotes Race Club, we have DLL, we have DON, then Feel Good Racing, FV Esports Team, GTA, Gran Turismo Alliance. This is the same team, GTA and Gran Turismo Alliance, so take with a bit of salt. Then we have GTF, the league where Eddie is part in. We have GTEC, we have GTSV, we have Halex Racing, we have Hermann Motorsport, HSK, then we have High Performance Sim Racing, which Urquattro is the leader. We have the JCR Racing Team, LES Racing, then we have with MRL Milano we have the Motorhome Racing Team, we have Nexus Racing Concept, the Pegasus Esports Team, PTE Motorsport, the Realistic Racing Club, Roadrunner Racing, RTO, with Alexander driving at the moment. Then we have Speed Art Motorsport, we have UOL fans, we have the Tame Racing drivers, we have THG, we have Weltman Motorsports, and we have the WS Racing Esports team, or WSR. that's more or less 30 teams now. And we had, if I'm not mistaken, we had 32 registrations for this race. 2 registrations had to cancel their registration after they made it. And 2 more teams weren't qualified for this race. Or at least they were not qualified at the moment and may get the place if some team can't participate.
Milano goes into the pits, has 1 second time penalty. I'm sure Milano and Spaces can drive to the end. I think
Yeah,
we
but-
only have fuel for 4 laps left.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I already thought. I
Yeah.
already thought they couldn't finish this race with this pace and with this fuel consumption. So yeah, they need to pit again. I don't know if the tire change was necessary, but at least refueling is necessary. So of course, Amaral will fall back quite a bit.
So Alexander goes up to P12, and I think he also could jump Space Ace.
Oh no, and another 3-second penalty because of cutting the pit entry line. This means he has a 4-second penalty now.
The highest
Ouch.
penalty we saw so far, I think.
Yeah, we saw 3.5 seconds, and that I think I've never seen 4 seconds as of now.
Vulcan does a bit of flash lightning if the Vulcan front, I think because he tries to lap.
The gap between Ur4 and Ento has stabilized. At the moment, it doesn't seem like Ento is coming nearer to Ur4. Otherwise, the gaps are quite big and given. And for the GT class, we have Knight Rider leading by 36 seconds in front of Otaku. 6 seconds in front of Mega L, who is increasing the gap to Golfo, who is now 12.5 seconds behind Mega L. But yeah, Space Ace, as you said, Eddie, he probably won't make it to the end as well. He needs to pit quite soon.
Yes. 33-second gap to Alexander. It could be close, if he could stay in front of him or not. He only has to refuel, I don't know, for 2 or 3 laps, so...
Yeah, Milano has been 30 seconds behind Space Ace and has fallen back to 30 seconds behind Alexander, or even a bit more, 33. So it could be that Space Ace also falls behind Alexander, but it could be very close. It also depends on the pace. Because Space Ace is not that slow. He's driving at 358.0 at the moment. And Alexander, yeah, okay, he has increased his pace. What?
3:55
Yeah,
for last 2 laps.
last few laps were 355, but this one will probably be 356 or 357 because he was 1.5 seconds behind
Yeah.
his personal best.
Otaku has the time penalty 0.5 second, but nothing to worry about. When I see all the cars, I think on on some part of tracks it's much darker than on other.
Yeah, that's possible because the sun goes down quite at the northern side, and on the south side
Yeah, the southern side
it seems
darker.
much darker. Or better said, if you're looking north, if you're looking northeast. No, if you're looking northwest, then it looks quite dark, and if you're looking southeast, yeah. If you're looking northwest, it's much brighter than if you're looking southeast. There's much dark. So when you're going down the straights, when you're going down the Hinoldier Straits, it looks much darker than when you're going back from these straits.
And I think next Stint will start at night.
Yeah, or at least with these dark conditions. Night is coming, getting darker. This is amazing what Super GT is doing. He was so nervous and thought he'd make mistakes and crash, but that consistency. Yeah, he is consistent at the moment, but but you also need to be still needs to be focused, because although the fuel looks great and he will make it to the end no problem, tire wear looks a bit dangerous. He needs to be aware of that, and he's also collecting many penalties, so that's also not great. Vulcan is now beginning his 47th lap. He's 1 minute 26 behind Super GT and a minute in front of Lars.
I think we will see 6 laps of them in front. 90 minutes to go.
Yeah, 6 laps probably possible, and Lars goes wide when he wanted to lap his colleague. He didn't get a penalty though. But yeah, this cost him about 3 seconds of time. Then Urquattro can hold his position. Ento is only 6 seconds behind Urquattro, but he doesn't come nearer. But he also doesn't lose anything, it seems. So
I would say perhaps Super GT could be possible to lap Ento and Urquattro, but now he had saved another 1 second penalty.
yeah, but then he would need to make up 30 more seconds. I don't think this will be possible.
You need to be, I think, catch up 5 to 6 seconds per lap now. But
Yeah. He might get one more lap than the other 2 drivers, but I don't think he might lap them. I don't think that. Yeah, at the moment the positions are quite reserved. Knight Rider is doing 56 pace. Very good, very fast. I think he's on better pace than me, a few seconds. But not too much. Then Otaku, 39 seconds behind. Mega L is driving the same pace, more or less. 5 seconds behind Otaku. Then Golfo still, he's 12.5 seconds behind. Space Ace is 20 seconds behind, and yeah, probably on the last lap of his stint. He needs to go to the pits again and refuel. Then we have Alexander. Or I guess you need to correctly say Alexander. He's 42 seconds behind Space and 24 seconds in front of Tinin, who has outbraked himself a bit in this corner, but is doing 4-minute times. And then Milano, who has just been at the pits and lost quite some time.
I think Space is have to pit now. This or latest lap, next lap, I think he has to pit now.
Yeah, I think it will be this lap as well.
And Alexander is catching up. 10th for 10th, second and second.
Yeah, but I guess if he just goes into the pits and doesn't change tires, he might get out in front of Alexander. If he changes tires, then he must drive some serious laps if he wants to overtake Alexander again.
I think we will see it in about 1 minute.
Alexander or Alexander, you can say what.
Behind Spaces, I think there's a LMDH car which could lap him, but we're now at exit of Porsche corner, so nothing to worry about, hopefully. Oh, Quattro. Yeah, did not a perfect line.
Yeah, about the HBSR car, it was asked in the chat, so
And
you can see it, it's in the P4.
Spaces is pitting now.
Yeah, this will be interesting because will he land in front of Alex or will he stay behind? That's the question. Alex with a very good pace in this lap is only half a second behind his personal best. This would mean he's on the way to a 355.
He changed tires.
Okay, Space says change tires, so this means that he needs to be very fast in the last few laps. And he goes out just behind Space says. This is the predicted 3 seconds
Yes,
we were talking about.
that was the tire change. Without tire change, he would stay in front of him.
Yeah, probably 6 seconds or so in front. Because the tire change in Le Mans is quite slow.
Oh, now it's lunchtime for me. So I will go
Alright,
to the meeting, and I think for last minutes I will be back. See you soon.
see you soon. Okay, as long as Eddie isn't here, we can now look if Space Ace is able to catch up to Alex or if he will stay behind him. If we look at the gaps here, we have Night Ride with 2240 behind Super GT. Then Otaku is 40 seconds behind Knight Rider. Then Mega is 5 seconds behind Otaku and has even more penalties now. It's a 1 second for him. But again, he's doing a great job. He's driving a very well stint. 3/10 up his personal best time. But unfortunately, he will lose everything with this 1 second penalty. Golfo is now 16 seconds behind Mega L. He's really not able to keep the pace. Then Alex another minute behind Golfo. And Space Ace is trying, but it seems he's trying too hard to catch up. He also got a penalty, half a second, so Alex will break away even more. Beim Alex kämpfen aber auch deutsche Kommentatoren mit der richtigen Aussprache. Ja, wie gesagt, man könnte Alexander sagen, man könnte Alexander sagen. Oder einfach Alex. So gesehen ist der Name ja nicht schwer. Aber man hat also einfach irgendwie so viele Möglichkeiten, wie man das aussprechen möchte. Und mit dem Wortwitz, blöd gesagt, wird es halt nicht gerade einfacher. Anyway, back to English. Here we see Alex, and Flive is knocking behind him, not looking for a pass now. He stays behind, and now he gets past him. Also, it's noticeable that the Aston Martin drives with yellow lights, whereas the Mercedes of Space Ace is driving with white lights. Then we have Finin with yellow lights again. We have Milano with yellow lights. Golfo with white lights. Mega L with yellow lights. Otaku with white lights. And Knight Rider with white lights as well. Yeah, it's I think it's personal preference, whatever you want to take. Personally, when I do a livery, if I know that we will be driving in the dark, then I rather take white lights, and if it should look cool, I take yellow lights. What is the distance from 4th place to 3rd place? Yeah, let's see. We have 32 seconds behind between Lars and Urquattro. Super GT is 1 minute 29 in front of Vulcan. And okay, has lost a bit of pace because Super GT has damage. Front left. Yeah, that will cost him. Unfortunately. And Vulcan is 1 minute 10 in front of Lars. Lars is 33 seconds in front of Urquattro. And Urquattro is half a second in front of Ento. But Ento has had a penalty, had to set it out, so the gap increases again to 2 seconds. Personal preference of the livery creator. Haha. Yeah. Literally what I said. As I said, for me personally, I take the white lights because I think I see more with the white lights than with the yellow ones, but it's up to the livery creator. And as we can see, the Ferrari livery is from me, and the Mercedes livery is from Nuschel. And there you can see both different goals of a livery. Okay, maybe we will see a fight between Urquattro and Ento. We have, I think we have 2 more laps to decide. This one and maybe also the next one, if Ento is fast enough and if Urquattro is fast enough. Both of them need to push. Both of them need to do 328s twice. And Ento already lost 1.7 seconds, so to his personal best. Could mean anything. Then Flive is the only one that is already lapped by Super GT. 4 minute 18 behind. has way enough fuel. Ento has way enough fuel. Quattro has way enough fuel. Every LMH car has more than enough fuel here. And Super GT with another penalty, half a second. Knight Rider with a half a second penalty is driving 356 times. Will also not be able to drive 46th lap, but will do consistent 45 laps. Probably not much faster than me, maybe 15 seconds. It's 15 seconds in 3 hours, so it's something. Then Otaku gets overtaken by Super GT, or as said, he gets lapped by Super GT. Hattet heute nichts gegessen? Durchtreten, bis der Arzt kommt. Ja, doch, etwas gegessen habe ich schon. Aber war halt auch nur ein Salat. Fleisch wäre besser. Und damit würde ich wahrscheinlich jetzt jeden Veganer und Vegetarier auf den Schlips treten. Ist mir eigentlich scheißegal. Anyway, Mega L 18 seconds in front of Xanai Golfo. 55 seconds in front of RTO. And yeah, RTO is slowing down the lap times as well. Seems like they want to make it to the end as well, so at 3:59 in the last lap, maybe he did a mistake, maybe he had a penalty, a big one, who knows. Space Ace is only 1 second behind, but also has a penalty of 1 second, so not ideal. Quattro and Ento very close together again, and there comes the unfortunate situation that Knight Rider is there as well, and he's perfectly allowed to drive the racing line. And the LMH cars need to find a way around the GT car. Okay, so Quattro 1 second in front of Ento. And yeah, it will be very difficult to get another lap because Quattro already at 3:31. He needs to do a 3:28 if he wants to go to the next lap, and Ento needs to do a 3:28. Or even a 3:26 if he wants to go to the next lap as well. Again, both drivers have more than enough fuel. They should both be able to run this lap without issue. It seems that Ento has less downforce than Quattro, because he seems to make up the gap on the straights. Maybe another battle somewhere. Yeah, no, Space Ace has lost a bit of time here and lost even more time now, so I don't think he will get close to Alexander again. Ento, half a second behind Quattro. This is the last lap for these guys, very probably, unless they find some bit of pace to go for another lap. But at the moment it's only this one. Ento with a good exit and goes for the overtake and is now in front of Quattro. Quattro may be able to counter this. Needs to brake earlier. Now the exit of the corner, important.
So I see he has done it.
Yes, Ento has overtaken Quattro in the probably last lap of them.
Super GT did a mistake.
Yes, he has damage now.
Has lost
And
3 seconds.
He has lost time in the 50th lap. And now he's losing about 10 seconds per lap.
Surprisingly to see that the LMDH car with damage will lose much more time than GT cars.
Yeah, probably also has to do with the hybrid system. Okay, Ur4 has overtaken Ento again. We have missed this because we wanted to show that Super GT has damage. But this will go to the last chicane, to the 4 chicanes. I don't think there will be another lap for these two guys. Ur4 now with the advantage. He will probably defend it.
That could be very close, but I think we won't get it.
No,
That's
although Ento has come very close at the chicane again.
That's it for them.
Wow, 0.125 seconds between them.
After 3 hours.
Yeah. There we have the class winner of this stint in the GT class, Knight Rider. He will go over the line at about 3 hours and about 30 minutes.
And behind him will leader of the LMDH class Super GT.
And Super GT wins the stint overall. Next driver going over the line will be Vlive, who has a gap of 4 minutes. Please all remember to enter your gap in the gap command. And Vlive goes over the line with a 4-minute gap. Otaku finishing the stint in P2 of the class. That's a nice redemption drive from WSR. Well done. Then we have Mega L in P3. Also nice job.
Then we have WSW Vulcan, second in
Vulcan
LMDH1, under 1 minute behind Super GT at the end.
Now we also have Xanai Golfo, who finishes. And the next ones are Alexander and Space Ace. They should be able to finish the race. For the other 3 guys, I don't know if it's possible, because the race ended at like 3 hours and we only get, I think we only get these 2 drivers over the line because the others are too much apart.
Charles here in chat says there's a change in streamer next stint. Bosworth will stream it.
Alright.
Copy that. I think lobby for stint 3 should already open a few minutes ago. SpaceX ends 3 hour stints, half a second behind Alexander.
Yeah. Maybe Tin can also get it to... No, I don't think he can get it to the end. No. But... Lars might be able to get it to the end. Yes. And I think this will only leave Tinin and Milano without the end.
That's it.
Perfect, yes.
Two stints done, 5 to go. So
okay,
saving
so
replay.
Then we end the stream now because we want to give as much time as possible for Bosworth that he can stream. Unfortunately, Metal has had an emergency and can't stream. Luckily, Bosworth stepped in. Thank you, Bosworth. Well done. And hopefully you will have some fun. And yeah, we'll see you. At least you will see me in the 6th stint. I don't know about Eddie. Maybe he will co-commentate as well. Again in a stint if he wants to.
I don't think so. I think one stint is enough for now.
Okay. Well then, thank you Eddie for co-commentating.
Yeah, no problem.
Then we will see you next time. And yeah, goodbye. See you later.